One. All right, Chi-Town, we've got RIP Takeoff. We've got RIP Takeoff tonight. The Self-Love Show. What is the 27th Club? We're unpacking that tonight. We're going to dig into this great topic right here. You guys, please like, share, subscribe. We back in the building.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Fair use, y'all. In entering upon this course of instruction, each of you should, so far as possible, lay aside for the time being all previous theories and beliefs. By so doing, you will be saved the trouble of trying all the way through the show to put, quote, new wine into old wineskins, end quote. Luke chapter 5, verse 37. If there's anything as we proceed which you don't understand or agree with, just let it lie passively in your mind until you have enjoyed the entire show. For many statements that would at first arouse antagonism and discussion will be clear and easily accepted a little farther on. After the show is over, if you wish to return to your old beliefs and ways of living, you are at perfect liberty to do so. But for the time being, be willing to become as a little child, for said the Master in spiritual things, quote, except ye become as little children, ye shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven, end quote. Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. If at times there seems to be repetition, please remember, the Self-Love Show is a lesson, not a lecture.
And even in this instance, if I could be of service to a 9-year-old girl or a 19-year-old woman or girl who wants to be a woman, is to really remember that self-love is the best way that you can receive love from anybody else, because it's coming from you. A lot of times we forget that. We look externally for this love. We look externally for this feeling of validation and adoration and approval, and it has to come from within.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
It's going into the 9th round. I think it was at the end of the 8th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think he's like 29-0 with 26 knockouts or something like that, or 27 knockouts.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I saw him on something about him on the internet. It's baby mama drama, but we're not gonna get into that here. She was lying too. The second one was. I don't know about the first one, but all right, man. Sounds like you done had a good time, man. But you guys out there, please like, share, subscribe, post it on your Facebook. Let's get it up on your Twitter feed. All you gotta do is share that link with your Twitter and text it. Whatever you do. I don't know if you're on Twitch. You know what I mean? Yeah, but let's get it out there. Please, let's get it out there. All right. So for you guys who don't know tonight's and every show's format, we always kick it off with the self-love show quote of the day. And then that's followed up with the More Growth and Development Program. Very short video, explains our platform, what we stand for. You could call it our HITS principle if you want. Alignment, assignment, technique. Bear down. Then we run a short video, Self-Love and I, and the chat. We're going to unpack a video with individuals from our government officials, if you will, civil servants, if you will, going about their day. And, we'll judge whether or not we, the people, deem this activity committed by the government as being tyrannical. All right. Thumbs up if you like it. Thumbs down if it's tyranny. And then, of course, we have our dome teaser. Your mind is a terrible thing to waste. Furthermore, it's a muscle. So we tantalize it with a riddle. We call it dome teaser. And then we'll give you the riddle. And then at the end of the show, we'll give you the answer to the riddle. Unless, of course, someone in the chat is brilliant enough to produce the key. Normally self-love gets it and you guys don't. All right, tonight's topic is how legalize cannabis. Oh, wait a minute. That's not today's topic. That was last week's topic. Tonight's topic is what is the 27 Club Unpacked? That's tonight's topic. What is the 27 Club Unpacked? And then we close it out with my personal favorite part of the whole shebang. And that's where this brother to my right, Brother Wordsmith, off the rip, the top of his dome, summarizes the entire tonight's joint in a metaphysical bit of prose, which is excellent. But before any of that, you got any announcements, bro?
Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, share far and wide. I got the Ring camera up and the Ring doorbell. So if you think about coming to kick the door in again, the window or whatever, think again.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And what he said, I don't have any announcements per se. Once again, just like, share, subscribe. Hey, if anybody's out there, know anybody, any artists, singers, anyone signed up to be in the 27 Club, anyone signed any contracts, things of this nature, signed anything in blood, was walking up and down the big mansion in the Hollywood Hills and saw some weird activity in each bedroom and did anything like that, we want to hear from you. You know what I mean? Did you join the Illuma Booty? We don't know. Put it in the chat. All right. And enough of my yapping out there. I'm going to turn it over to this brother so he can handle his business.
Welcome to the Self-Love Show. As he just said, we're breaking down 27 Club. And always, we have the More Growth and Development video, which is the platform which we are building the Self-Love Nation off of. But before that, we have the Self-Love Show quote of the day. We don't forgive people because they deserve it. We forgive them because they need it, because we need it, We all need it. Once again, we don't forgive people because they deserve it. We forgive them because they need it, because we need it. We all need it. Janis Joplin. And
she's a member, rest her soul.
Yep. Silverback More Growth and Development Platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And 3, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influences. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, to provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless.
9,
to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen.
we're closing the gap. We're closing the gap.
And number 10 is protect our women and children and men by any and all means necessary.
Facts. It's probably what they said in that prize fight when they were in the ring. Protect yourself at all times, huh?
Facts.
Facts.
Facts. It was almost a fight outside the, well, it was a little skirmish outside the ring during the fight.
Wow.
And they bunched up. They stopped the fight for a minute. Meek Mills and Gary Russell Jr. Meek Mills and a professional boxer.
What? Did you get some footage?
No, I was kind of far away. I couldn't even see what happened at all at the app.
But you saw the skirmish.
Yeah, it was a bunch of people moving around, and then Meek Mill people, they walked them out.
I don't know if Meek wanted none of that professional fighter out there.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't have went too well. I'll tell you that part.
Yeah, probably not. Probably is definitely being kind, you know, but absolutely. All right, man. And last week, as I said, we covered how legalized cannabis affects Chicago's black population. We did that live. You guys can go back and check that out. What say ye, self-love?
You should. It was chock full of information.
Chock full of information.
It was information all over the place. And information coming out of your ears out there.
Out of your ears out there. Big ups to and a yo to Omni Overseer out there coming in from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yes, yes.
And then also a big ups to Sharuka Israel. Big ups. Thanks for you guys' support.
Much love, honor, respect.
Facts. All right. So we can go from here. Like, share, subscribe. Let's get them in the building. Self, did you see the video with the 12 cowards?
I don't know, but I don't think so.
Hey, we got a video for it. Big ups to production and inside Channel 7 ABC. Fair
We
use.
begin in Pasadena and the police beating of a driver. It happened 5 years ago during a traffic stop.
Today, that driver is calling for the officers to be fired, and he is suing the department. Eyewitness News reporter Carlos Granda has the details and video.
It happened 5 years ago. Pasadena police officers Larry Esparza and Zachary Lujan pulled over Chris Ballou for tinted windows.
You know, the moment that a light was shined in me and I knew that I was being targeted because they could see who I was.
The incident escalated. Ballou says he was beaten by police for no reason. Police claim they felt threatened. Ballou suffered a broken leg and injuries.
His conduct was innocuous and that he never posed any threat to the officers.
A judge says there's evidence the stop could be considered racially motivated. He says out of 197 documented traffic stops, 44% were black and 55% Latino. Ballou's attorney says the two officers are still working.
After 3.5 years of so-called internal investigation, they were 100% exonerated by the Pasadena Police Department.
And the family says this is about accountability.
Every officer is not a bad apple or bad, but there are some that are bad, and for those who are bad, they need to be punished. They're not above the law.
We reached out to the city of Pasadena and were told it can't comment because of the pending lawsuit. This case is scheduled to go to trial on April 25th.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC 7
All right,
content
so-
by clicking the subscribe button.
Yeah. All right. You see how they pulling over all your coloreds and your Hispanics out there.
Yeah,
So-
that's what they do out there.
Yeah, and I used to work in Pasadena, bro. It's probably, I'm saying, driving around, man. You lucky if you get to 20% black, but I think that's twice as high as the real number. So you probably got 15% of your blacks and coloreds, you know, your people of coloreds out there. 15% driving around, but they're getting pulled over. 45% of the people pulled over, you know,
Right.
people. It's the math ain't mathing.
No, it's just racist. I mean, it's just what it is. It's what it is.
And bro, when I worked out there, I had literally, I got pulled over on my way to work during work hours in shirt and tie. My first week at work, I got pulled over 4 consecutive days by 4 different cops with the shakedown. Well, you blah 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 blah. Never got a ticket. You know what I mean? Finally, I told the last guy, he was some sort of Asian. Might have been that guy in that video. I told that guy, I said, listen to me. This is the 4th time. I said, you guys know I got a lawsuit. I told him. I said, I got a lawsuit. It's plain as day. Harassment. That's how I talk to him. And sometimes I use the British pronunciation. Harassment, buddy. And I told him, no, I said, do yourself a favor. Go back there to your station. Call it in, whatever you got to do. Let them know you ran everything. I got license, insurance, registration, this, that, and the third. No open warrants. Go ahead and let them know. And tell them, don't pull me over anymore. And I tell you what, Self, I never got pulled over. Oh, I would ride bogus, too. I never got pulled over. I don't know if it was coinkydink or what. But hey, you know what I mean? Never got pulled over again.
Yeah, he put it in the uniform. He said, yeah.
Yeah, but the beat down. You saw the beat down.
Come on, man. It's ridiculous. I just don't know why it's just over and over and over again. And they got to sweep it under the rug. It happened 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And how can anybody say that they had, you know, the right to do that?
Probable cause to beat a citizen down like that.
It's ridiculous.
All right. So,
well, you know, very easy to decide.
All right, we're 100% on tyranny. The crowd can usually be tied a break here. You know what I mean? All right. So, like, share, subscribe. Tonight we're gonna unpack the 27th club. But first, Dr. Karen. So, Dr. Karen. Yeah. Oh, and I got rid of the Chivas Rivas. We're going Uncle Nearest. Yeah. Hey, he's so misogynistic. The young man, he still thinks she's a nurse. I had to watch the video a few times because she looks like she's wearing a nurse getup, but
yeah,
they said she was a doctor, bro.
Yeah, they kept saying doctor, and Pat acted like a doctor.
Hey,
it's Nurse Pat.
Did she know she was being filmed? I mean, I don't know how they could have been hiding that camera.
She did not care. I mean, she was like, you're basically an animal, and, you know, come on, do it.
Yeah.
Talking crazy and everything.
Even if it's psychological, she's supposed to say, okay, I'm going to have somebody, you know, even if she thinks it's psychological.
Right. Anytime he said anxiety and all that,
He's a kid in school. He passed out after conditioning or some crap. and this is the treatment he's getting.
Yeah, that's
him and his father are there to get pills, and they didn't look like they looked like the pill whore. Can we say pill whore on? You're not getting my narcotics.
Man.
I'm gonna put some on this paper like I gave y'all some pills, but I'm putting those in my pocket. Mark Daniels said, and it's insane how they treat us. Now you could turn the corner and use self-defense, going back to the tattoo tyranny. Brother Daniels.
Yo.
I'm the overseer said 44% black and 55% was your people of color.
Yeah.
Mark Daniels said, why is she wearing a fitness watch? Because she couldn't eat it. That's why. She couldn't eat it. They were like, no, you got to put it on your wrist. And, this isn't an attack. I apologize because nobody deserves that. You know what I mean? She does, but nobody else deserves it.
Yeah.
Man.
We're not going to say that anyway, We just, not going to say she,
Yeah, and I'm not going to say I would have told her right there in front of my dad and God, B word, which we don't use on this show. Let me tell you something. You know what I'm saying? If I could get up, but trust and believe I can't get up. Because if I could get up, I would get up and what's his name? I'd Will Smith you right here in front of my dad. You hear me? Be happy I don't get up. You better hope I don't get up. Then she don't. Oh, he threatened me. You know what I mean?
Yep. And then she would have called the police.
She should have been a cop the way she was talking to him.
Man. She has no bedside manner whatsoever. She just did not care.
You as the adult, though, with the wisdom, the dad, how long do you stand there even having that back and forth with her before you go to get an administrator?
Yeah, that would have not been, very long at all. Like, okay, who's the head of the emergency room? Because
correct.
We need to have a discussion right away about this mother. You know what I mean?
You need to get her out of this room before I wet Will Smith her nasty ass.
Man.
I got it all on tape. Right.
Yes.
Right.
Look, watch this. And man.
Right. But they're about to get a nice fat check. He's gonna get his college paid for it.
Yeah. Deservedly so.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Deservedly so. So what if the doctor was a Shaniqua?
Yeah.
He was some sort of drop dead gorgeous blonde blue haired white kid in high school.
I don't know about the drop dead gorgeous. I don't think those people are drop dead gorgeous. Sorry. They would have called the police. They would have called the police. They would have called the police, and the police would have arrested the doctor.
Facts. Something would have happened. They definitely would have got him and got the administrator. But Shanifa would have known better to be talking to some white folk like that. She might have been down there at was it South Shore Hospital? You just spoke so highly of Jackson Park Hospital. You just spoke so, Wakil said 30 seconds and it would have been over, and we both would have been side by side in the medical bed. Right. Now you get up, Karen. Dr. Karen, now you can't get up? What are you, dead? Right. You know what I mean? Sitting there talking to my seed like that, and I'm
crazy.
Oh, you just want narcotics? This is a hospital, isn't it? You know, we turn it around, self. What's wrong with this lady? Right.
You need to get up out of here before we get you up out of here.
All right. Enough of the appetizers out there. We've had our fun.
Let's quench the self-love nation's thirst.
Facts. Let's get it going, y'all. What is the 27 Club Unpacked? That's tonight's show. We're going to talk about the 27 Club. Who's in it? The 5 W's. Who's, the whats, the wins, the wheres, and the whys. Big ups to production. Big ups. Next week on the Self-Love Show, it'll be January 11th.
But there is one club that exists among us that is so exclusive that there is only one means of entry. In order to join the 27 Club, you have to pay with your life.
We're going to unpack the 27 Club.
And I looked at the number 27. The number 27 is what you would consider a master number, okay? But when you put the 7 by itself, that is actually considered a divine mission, okay? Which is where my belief comes from of what this age could be. I believe that at this point, when it comes to the celebrities, that they must take their divine mission, whether or not they're gonna go into this industry the way that they need to go, or whether it will be time for them to take a certain ritual or sacrifice.
Familiar with the 27 Club out there, sir?
Yes. A lot of famous musicians and actors and such famous people have passed away at the age of 27.
The mythology surrounding the 27 Club gained more prominence with the tragic death of Kurt Cobain in 1994.
Yeah, just had somebody recently. And then that guy, that rapper who put that jewelry on his forehead. What's his name? Little dumbass.
Little Uzi.
There has only been one true scientific study done regarding the 27 Club by the British Medical Journal in 2011. They would conclude that there was, quote, no increase in the risk of death for musicians at the age of 27. They did, however, find that they had a higher risk of death in their 20s and 30s, but this wasn't necessarily limited to the age of 27.
Yeah, Lil Uzi. Thought it was a little dumbass. But he said that he predicted he's gonna die. He's just turning 27. Yeah, he's saying he's gonna join the 27 Club.
He signed a contract, so.
We've got two who can see.
That's not the guy who got the lap dance by Satan. Satan.
That's Lil Nas X.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then you said Lil Uzi. Yeah. Lil Uzi Vert. Yeah. So, not wishing that on him. But yeah, we're going to break down the 27 Club out there. That's our topic next week.
Hey bros, what's going on? This is Cotton. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Because subscribing makes you feel good.
Do you still have them?
Got mine.
You see that WGN police helicopter? That was a real picture, bro. Oh man, I saw that. I was like, WGN police helicopter. Those are some times. All right, y'all. So y'all know the purpose. We're breaking down the 27 Club. Who are they? When did it start? What's its purpose? Is this real? Or is this just a psychological effect known as Patagonia? Those are some of the things we're going to be talking about. Self-love, to your estimation, you just explained it in that promo video. What is the 27 Club?
Well, it's a number of musicians and actors and famous people who have passed away at the age of 27.
The ripe age of 27, and typically they're at the peak of their journey. Like they're hitting on all cylinders too.
Yes. Yeah, they are, man.
Grammys, this award,
sacrifice type of thing out there. Seems, that's what people like to throw into that, all that.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're gonna get into that. Now, according to Rolling Stone, yeah, it's a rock magazine. I'm sure you know, but some of us may not. The 27 Club has become one of the most elusive and remarkably tragic coincidences in rock and roll history. The term became widely known after Kurt Cobain's death in 1994, with rock fans connecting his age to that of Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix. Though it was notable to I didn't know Jimi Hendrix was the headliner at Woodstock. He was the headliner, so they
Yeah.
didn't tell me that when I was studying history.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Though it was notable to fans in the early 70s, I was probably in Theta, when those four visionaries died within just 2 years of each other. When Amy Winehouse passed away at age 27 in 2011, it attracted even more attention to the significance of the age. While the club has been largely connected to musicians, it has expanded since, as many young actors and artists have lost their lives due to everything from addiction, suicide, to, quote, freak accidents, end quote. So that's, their definition. We'll get more into it. Now, Seth, they were talking about, to your point with the sacrifices, something about Saturn return. And, there's a lot of Saturn worship out there. Many people think Saturn is the Satan, and others say that ring around Saturn is where Jeebus, because we're not talking about Yahusha, where Jeebus, has that ring around him. But there's a lot of references to Saturn in the Illuma Booty. So they were saying that the Saturn return age is 27. So they think that they're postulating that may be why that's the age to do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it seems a lot of these people are, like you said, right on top of their game. And I think it's a sacrifice to take their power, their creativity, whatever, what have you.
You're saying when that light is shining bright.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
They can snatch
Interesting. Yeah, another reason why they like to snatch up, little kids too when they're still in Theta, because that light's just shining bright, unless somebody's dampened it already. All right. You got some notable members you can think of offhand, so?
Well, they're on the screen behind you. Janis Joplin, you mentioned those people. The first one, Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson died at 27.
Yeah, he's the one who made Sweet Home Chicago, and
the blues.
That was made before Sweet Home Alabama.
The blues guy.
Yeah, Robert Johnson. Yeah, suppose he sold his soul, met the devil in the form of a black man at the crossroads.
It's a lot of stories about him.
Yeah, well, he said the devil took his guitar from him, tuned it up. The devil played a ditty, and then handed him the guitar, and then he was just
because he was terrible before that. They said he was terrible.
Yeah, said he was poop.
And then one of the greatest ever.
Yeah, he put blues on the map. He influenced, those who came behind him right after that got big. You know,
even all the way down to Jimi Hendrix.
Facts. Other members, Brian Jones, never really heard of him.
He was the first. I didn't hear of him till I paid attention to what this was about. He was the first the founder of the Rolling Stones, founding member of the Rolling Stones, and he said he was drugged out, and they kicked him out. He wasn't even in the group no more. at 27.
Facts. That's exactly what it's saying here. Yeah. He had a mysterious death. The official story was he filled himself up with booze and drugs and then dove into the swimming pool.
Yeah, I found him at the bottom of a swimming pool. His girlfriend.
Yeah, and they said his death ain't been solved, though. They said that's an open mystery. Alan Wilson. You familiar with him?
I'm not sure. No, I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Yeah, he was at Woodstock. Bill Papa. Jimi Hendrix. Said Jimmy took some sleeping pills, like 10 times, 100 times the dosage, I think they said, they alleged.
9 times.
Yeah, the drug was called Vesperax, a strong barbiturate. Half a tablet was enough to put a man to sleep for 8 hours. Jimmy may have swallowed as many as 9. He had also been drinking. This was foolish and reckless, but this is Rolling Stone. This was foolish and reckless, but it was his character. During his years on the road, Jimmy had gotten into the habit of using drugs indiscriminately. Jimmy would take a handful of shit, not even knowing what it was. Janis Joplin. She was one of the first, she broke those color lines. She didn't mind hanging out with your coloreds, things of that nature. But yeah, they said she OD'd. Jim Morrison. You've heard of Jimmy Morrison.
Mm-hmm. Lead of the Doors.
Yeah. Yeah. Ronald McKernan, Ron Pigpen McKernan. He was part of the Jerry Garcia was the Grateful Dead. Pigpen started drinking when he was 12 and by the mid-20s had cirrhosis of the liver. Damn. Pigpen was on his own at his apartment in Corte Madera overlooking San Francisco Bay. When the end came on March 8th, 1973, he had been dead for up to 2 days when his body was found. Dave Alexander from the Stooges, never heard of him. Pete Ham of Badfinger, one of the bands the Beatles signed. Okay, never heard of him. Chris Bell, D Boom, Jean Michael Basquiat, Mia Zapata. Kurt Cobain's body was discovered by an electrician in '94. The answer to the question posed by authors of who killed Cobain is simple. Kurt killed himself. He did so with sudden, self-inflicted violence, leaving written evidence of his state of mind. Kurt's substance abuse counselor remembered how worried the musician had been about losing his home in a lawsuit. Suicidal people tend to want to make a statement. I just kind of felt he killed himself in the house, as to say, you're not going to take my house no matter what. Okay.
That's when they started saying it was the 27 Club, right? Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, that's when it took off. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. There's some more. It's a long, long list. I'm looking for some notables. Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
Last gulps of vodka. They said hers was booze. I'm sure she had some pills. Anton Yelkin. He appeared in 18 films. What's his name? Nipsey.
Nipsey was 27?
Yeah. Was Kobe Bean 27? No, hell no. 40 or 38, something. But yeah, Nipsey was 27. Rest Kobe, so. And what's the guy's name? He died. He from Chicago. They said he OD'd. The rapper. He was in that video. He was in the promo video.
Yeah. He was 21 or something.
No, he was 27.
Who? Oh, we ain't talking about the same person.
He was one of the drill rappers. Fredo, I think that's what they called him.
Okay, yeah, that's why I wasn't talking about Fredo. That's why I was like lost. Okay,
yeah.
Oh, he was 27.
Yeah. And if anybody in the chat can think of anybody else, do chime in.
Yes, y'all.
I'll look up some black members somewhere during the show of the 27 Club, because I'm sure there's a bigger list. But yeah, Bob Johnson was the first one of note. But I do have another one I'll mention later that was supposedly before Robert Johnson, as they went back into the history of it. All right. Origin. Who started it, Self? Was it just folklore?
I'm not sure, because it's a whole lot more than I thought. You know what I mean? You read a list of a lot of people that I'm like, huh?
Yeah, but if it's a club, wouldn't somebody have to start the club? Or you're just saying, like, if they're signing contracts and making sacrifices and joining up, who are they?
It's the labels. It's not the people that's dying. I mean, they signing whatever they signing, and then they get to their peak and it's time to go. But it ain't on them. They ain't decided to go at 27. So somebody's putting them in the club.
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing about those pills and all that shit. That's one thing I learned as a young cat. You really don't know what's in it.
Man, especially since they're pill presses and people be pressing pills that they be putting whatever in it.
Period. Even back before, right? I agree.
Yes, they had them pill. They had the
doctor
pill
could give you a
then.
pill and you don't know what's in it.
Yes.
That's the thing.
For sure, and you definitely
take this.
don't know.
It's a sugar pill, and it could be cyanide. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you buying it off the black market, you really don't know what the hell it is.
Right. Exactly.
You don't know from the pharmacist's order, which is what your point is. The pharmacist's order.
Yeah, there's been cases where the pharmacist made a mistake and mixed it too strong.
They kill
well, that's
people.
what I'm saying.
Saying, yeah.
If you wanted to take somebody out, that's how you would do it. Have them popping pills, a la Prince, or the artist, formerly known as Prince. Have MJ, taking stuff to help him go to sleep. It's always something. Take these. It's going to help you perform and get you up, and you'll lose your anxiety before the show. Now, to go to sleep after the show, take these. You know what I mean? And get them all going on that. And then at 27, this is a theory. This isn't our theory. We're just giving the information. But supposedly there was a pianist, a composer by the name of Alexander Levi. Supposed to have been huge back in 1892. So they're alleging that this club's been going on for quite some time. 1892 is around that time when they say the Illuma Booty. Well, that was 100 years before, but who knows how long this sacrifice has been going on, if it is in fact a sacrifice.
Yeah, I'm sure it's many more, because a lot of this stuff, the witchcraft is involved, and the stuff that they be doing is very, very old.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing new under the sun. And they've been on the same thing for centuries.
Well said. Now, your boy Bob Johnson, or Robert Johnson, we're not talking about the BET founder, you guys. He was one of the Delta Blues' most celebrated and singular talents. Robert Johnson, this is according to Rolling Stone, recorded chilling folkloric songs about hellhounds, the devil, and general despair, and swinging, dissonant, sometimes off-kilter guitar lines. Remember, Jimi Hendrix was the same way with the off-kilter guitar lines, the likes of which have been reverberated through rock and roll for decades. He recorded less than 50 songs, including ones later covered by Cream, Crossroad Blues, covered by Captain Beefheart, Terror Blues, and the Stones, Love in Vain, Stop Breaking Down, and performed alongside the likes of Howlin' Wolf, Elmore James, and Memphis Slim as he rose to fame. You want to know how good the blues can get? Keith Richards once said, well, this is it. In August 1938, just a few months after his 27th birthday, Johnson made moves on the wife of the owner of a roadhouse where he was playing, drank from an open bottle of whiskey he was offered, and died 3 days later of strychnine poisoning and pneumonia. He is buried in an unmarked grave in Mississippi.
Yeah. That's a story.
Well, they said already open bottle, and strychnine. Again, you learn these simple things on the street. Not that a bottle that's sealed can't be poisoned with strychnine, but you learn these simple things. If you don't see it opened, if you don't see it rolled up, you know what I mean? You really don't have any idea what you're drinking and smoking. These simple questions are posed to you coming up on the block. You know what I mean, Self? Now, there's some people who don't get those types of educations. And they go off into the world and become famous, or you know what I mean? They don't hear any of this. Next thing you know, somebody slipped them something.
Yeah, well, he could have very easily got sacrificed.
Correct. Very true. With the same strychnine. Correct.
And who knows? Was the writer of that what you read at the place when he saw him get a bottle that was already open? You know what I mean? How writers tend to use lies to make their point better,
Yeah. It could be coincidence.
Coinkadink?
He said he drank from an open bottle of whiskey he was offered and died 3 days later. Omni Overseer said it was 1938 and he was elevating the game. Yeah. Interesting, though, that he would be still buried in an unmarked grave. That seems like...
I heard something that he was like on somebody's plantation or something, and it was just a black dude on the plantation. He was messing with somebody's wife or something, and he was the one that poisoned him.
So it wasn't the roadhouse owner, and according to the story you heard.
Might have been the roadhouse owner, but he was able to make no noise about it. They didn't come at him at all. I was of the opinion that the person was white or something.
Yeah, probably not though, because I kind of assumed that too. But you remember back in the day, we had our separate but equal. You know what I mean?
But they had black artists play in front of white people all the time. It'd be all white people, but they'd be playing in front of white people.
So so you think it was a white person, or you think it was a black person?
It's a roadhouse though, so I'm not sure.
He was offered and died 3 days later. Yeah, they said a roadhouse where he was playing. So yeah, right. So yeah, they did play in front of, and if he's sleeping with a white woman in 1938, nobody's gonna investigate shit.
All right.
And that was illegal. Of course, the white women never got any charges for that. And then I guess that motivated them to cry rape on himself, and then
yeah.
All right. So when did it start? I'd probably lean towards Robert Johnson, but we've said this could go all the way back to to the.
We have no idea because we're dealing with his story, and it don't always tell the truth.
Facts. And so what I'm gonna do here is kick off. Let's see if this wants to play. Tell you it's only that damn Nas song. I'll do it again. But I'm gonna kick this off. We're gonna take a short respite, and I'm gonna look up a list, see if we can list some black members. In the shy, bro. Today, what's been going on, bro?
This weather's been good, so start shooting. You gotta stop the killing, y'all. Gotta stop it.
Yeah, well, we just had a slight earthquake, and so just hope that was just a. I be feeling them all the time, man. I don't know if it's paranoia. I mean, like, it just happened.
Right. I saw you move a little bit. It looked up. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a moment where you're sitting there like, you know what I mean? Because there's that moment, okay,
exactly.
Headed outside.
I idolized the Hot Mix 5. All of them. Mickey mixing all of them. Coffee Rosario. Now he's talking about he's hanging up his headphones to run for office, which is I get.
Hey.
These were my role models, even Farley, and that's why that hurt me so bad that he stole my music.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow.
Oh, see, you opened it. I just pulled the cap back. And
wow.
Yes.
I've been hearing a lot of these nasty things about Farley. Like he was just out there like Dr. Dre. Just still.
I didn't want to go there again, but he stole.
Wow.
Let's
put it out there. Let me put it out there right now. And I'm gonna just
right now.
Down. I'm gonna shut it down. Shut it down. Farley did not create House Nation, which we created that in 1985. Okay. Myself, Steve Simmons, Ray Thompson, James Anderson, Dave Yarbrough. We created it in a basement. House Nation was created in a basement in 1985. We were at Mendel. It was on a cassette. Of course, we recorded it. Gave it to somebody. That gave it to somebody. That gave it to somebody. That landed into somebody's hands that had the resources to make it a record. Again, I'm 15 years old. I don't know copyright. I don't know law. I don't know this. All we know is we made a nice little track called House Nation.
Wow.
There are some vocals that go with House Nation. I have them. I have them on a reel-to-reel. I have the original House Nation on a reel-to-reel.
Wow.
But I'm not going to put it out because I don't want him to steal it again. In 1986, he stole Jack My Body. Same thing. Got me again.
Wow.
It hurts. It hurts. It fucking hurts. But I'm okay with it. Because, again, let's say he didn't do it. And I would have went overseas. I would have, who knows what my life would be. I'm good. I got 2 under my belt. House Nation, 1985. Jack My Body, 1986. Still moving crowds. Farley stole it. He put out a whack version. It sounded whack. It's still whack. But you all know the original. Nick Nonstop, Steve Simmons, James Diego Anderson, Ray Thompson, Dave Yarbrough. That's it. That's all.
what small ups for? You know what? I'm gonna have to reassess my goat. I'll get back with you guys.
No.
I gotta reassess. I gotta reassess.
I've forgiven him. He went. It was several years ago, 10 years ago. Farley was at the dating game. I was there in the corner. I was hot. I was like, oh, I can't believe it's here.
Right.
He stopped the music and said, Nick nonstop, I'm sorry. I apologize. I was wrong. And went back to his set. He did it again on a show like you guys are doing right now. I think it was Vince Adams had his show for a minute during COVID. He went on then and said, Nick nonstop, I'm sorry. If you listen, I apologize. I have forgiven Farley. I have moved on. It was what it was. But Jack My Body and House Nation still move crowds. I wish I could get a dollar for every time it's played.
Well, yeah, and that's it. So stop your camera. And no, I just want to say something real quick here. Farley, if you're out there, respectfully, if you're listening, first of all, small up. Second of all, if you were a Million Man Marcher, you know what atonement is and reparations. Sorry is one thing, all right? He probably already knew you were sorry because you stole his music. Only a sorry, sick individual would steal from a 15-year-old. Secondly, Farley, with all due respect, cut the crap and cut the check.
Hey, bros, what's going on? This is Cut My Man. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
Do you still have them? You got mine.
Hey, we gotta do the dome teaser too, bro. We didn't do it. We talked shit, but we didn't do it. Pick up Omni Overseer. We'll do it after you, We'll do it after this.
Yeah. I'ma show the world what they don't know. I'ma be the one. I'ma be the one when I'm done. Higher. Anywhere. If I made it this far. Anywhere.
Woo! Welcome back. Y'all know how it goes. Self-love show. What is the 27th Club? We're unpacking it.
We unpacking it.
Came from many angles in the first half, and we're going to explore even more information in the second. So sit back, chill, listen up. This is going down.
Sell weed.
On the block selling cats, birds, DVDs, gotta breathe. Cause I know the ball's heavy there. And this hustle that's in me, I'ma take it everywhere I go.
All right, y'all. So we failed to give the dome teaser out there. That's my bad.
Our bad.
All right, but let's jump at it. Is this right? Hold on. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Tonight's riddle. If 2 is a company and 3 is a crowd, what's 4? Oh, mic check. Can you hear me? Thumbs up out there if you can.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Hold on. All right, here we go. I got sound again. Okay, if 2 is company and 3 is a crowd, what is 4 and 5? Thumbs up out there. If 2 is company and 3 is a crowd, what is 4 and 5? All right, you guys, type the response in the chat if you can come up with it. Self-Love's going to marinate it on it, dig into his ancestors, and see what they can come up with during the matriculation. It's unfair to him though, because I did it off kilter. You know what I mean? We do a lot during these shows. We may or may not, but on the back channels. But
I know what 4 is, but the 5 is. Maybe it'll come.
All right. So y'all got today's Dome teaser. I'll go anywhere. I can make it anywhere. Big ups to Trife Mac.
Huge.
All right, so yeah, big ups. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the second half of this shebang. We've been discussing the connections with the Illuma booty. And by Illuma booty, we mean the Illuminati. I just want to make that perfectly clear. We've done a show on that. If you guys want to, educate yourselves out there, open up your minds and, peer down a rabbit hole. Be careful when you stare into the abyss because what?
It goes on forever.
Well, yeah, that and yeah, but it'll stare back at you. I think that's what Hannibal Lecter or something said on Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, but yeah. So basically, there's a group that was started in the late 1700s or in the 18th century, and it's hard to really know their rationale, why they got together, but supposedly it's a satanic order, and they control a lot. We'll just put it that way. So are you, well, not you, but if we're saying that the origin would be these record companies, which in fact is a corporation full of shareholders and board members and a founder and a CEO, are you saying that these corporations or someone therein could potentially be members of the Illuma booty?
Absolutely. Or at least associated with it. It's a resource.
Plugged with it.
Yeah, it's a resource that is paying for stuff and doing things. So, yeah.
Making stuff happen for you.
Yep.
Getting you out front, getting you those big Super Bowl ads.
All of that. Control everything. Who's in what movie and who directs it and who scores it, everything.
Interesting. Chat, you got any theories on the Illuma booty and if they can? Yeah, and that, you mentioned sucking the power out of these lights, these beings. And it's a double whammy too, because they stand to make a whole crap load of money.
Yes. And in this day and age, they probably did then too, life insurance on these people.
Major life insurance policies.
Yes. And yeah.
Some cases, maybe they're saying this person's about to, we don't mind if they go off the rails.
Absolutely.
It's not necessarily that someone's poisoning them with strychnine per se, but I'm sure they can hook them up with a guy who can hook them up with a guy who can hook them up with a plug that can get them whatever they need.
Yeah, and also when it's time, they can get them with the hot shot or the hot pill or the hot whatever they wanted to get them. As well.
I tell you what, I can't wait till we cover Juice WRLD in our 187 rapper series, because that story they gave about him stank when I first heard it. He was on a private jet and got wind that, what do you call those people? Drug enforcement was going to be there. And he's there with all his minions and peons and his handler. And instead of one of them taking the case or flushing it down the toilet and saying that could have been here when we got here or anything of that nature, he allegedly decided to swallow umpteen number of pills to hide the evidence. So if that's about as big BS as Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince, didn't have a will.
Well, if they can't produce a will, then there's no will. So if nobody knew where it was and nobody had possession of it.
Yeah, that Prince would have a will that nobody knows where it is and no one has possession of it. But I see what you're saying. I mean, you know, that's what I'm saying. It's he fought Sony for years over his money, and he did that to not have a will. I don't know. I'm not buying it. He was a genius. I mean, he was brilliant. You know, I'd leave all the money to my cat if I had to before I let the government get a hold of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. All right. What's the process for membership into this club? I'd say one, you'd have to sign the contract or sell your soul. Make some music glorifying the Satan, some kind of fashion.
It's possible.
I mean, because I hear a lot of rappers saying they're demons and all this, that, and the forth.
Yeah, that's
Lil Uzi Vert, his name is Lucifer. That's why he say he named himself.
Yeah. I know about him and these new people. I'm not sure all those people did that. I'm just
I
not
saw
sure.
some lyrics by Jimmy that was, he was such a poet. Yeah, he was such a poet. It's just really hard to know. You know, they get into that gap into that gap of consciousness, and they just start writing, and you know what I mean? And what comes out, and they roll with it, and they be so fucked up. But yeah, Cobain, I don't know if he was talking about the devil or anything like that in his music.
I don't know all of it, but there are some songs that I like from them.
Oh yeah, they got some cuts, man.
Yeah.
That one I started liking, Teen Idiots, because it was on Madden.
Yes.
What is it called? Yeah, Teen something like that. Yeah, I was playing Madden and it was playing over and over. I'm like, who is this? You know what I mean? Yeah.
But it was something said about how I don't even know who it was, but they were talking about that managers and record label people be feeding them drugs.
Yes.
And they could just give them the hot shot. They could just pass them the bed.
Yeah.
And then be over with.
Yes. They cut you away from your everyday plug. You don't have to go there anymore. You can go over here. I got a friend who's a doctor. He used to give dope to Prince, Michael Jackson, Kurt Cobain. He'll give you a list. Jimi Hendrix. That's where everybody got their shit from. You know what I mean?
It's the best shit they have out there.
Yeah.
But if you don't have to go nowhere, you making music and
they're just bringing it to you on a platter.
Right? Yeah. Why you doing it? You know what I mean? You trust them. That's to be the problem.
Yeah. But what would be it? So, because not just musicians, artists, actors, movie directors, writers,
artists.
Yes. What would they have to? What's the process?
I don't know, man. It seemed to be someone that a lot of them seem to be, not all of them, because all of them ain't, but a lot of them seem to be shining and at peak of their what they got going on. They dived all the way in and devoted everything into the art, and most of them use substances to get there, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't want to say there's something analogous. But I came across an obscure video talking about, how to make a child an illuminist. And it had to do with starving them and depriving them of sleep and just basically torturing the shit out of them when they're in theta.
Yeah, and to
And
separate them.
Yeah, so they can get a schism and disjoint it. Yes. Have a Sasha Fierce and a Beyonce, and you know what I mean. So I say that to say many of those on the list had, it's hard to say fucked up childhoods, but they talked about misery as a child.
Yeah, and the substance abuse is stuff that they saw, and as before they ever participated in it.
Correct. And there was some messed up stuff going on at the crib.
Yes.
And I'm not saying 100 out of 100, but a great number of them.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, they were able to split. Even Herschel Walker, said he split, started doing 1,000 push-ups a day, and became Superman. Yeah, a lot of them are able to split, and then the one part of them is just that artist. And I think these record companies and these A&Rs, 9 times out of 10, if you're from a good family home, 2 parents, this and that, the third, I don't think they'll sign you. I don't think they're as likely to sign you.
You're right. They've put that out there. Like, they've put the profile of us out there that's very bad. So anything,
the rock star, the rapper, yeah, they should be doing pills and drinking late. That it's a lifestyle, baby.
And Chance the Rapper to do anything had to be so-called independent, but he wasn't really independent. But
correct. And he talked about some pills and shit early in some of his early music, from what I remember. Okay. He don't get off into it now, Yeah. I don't know if he said he did it, but he talked about some pills. It was just what they were talking about. They glorify that. Lil Xan or whatever his name is. He's not in the 27 Club, but it's that rock star lifestyle. And I think, if you come to them clean cut, it's going to be harder for you to get a deal because they're not able to just take your money and set you up.
No, because they don't want to put that out. That's exactly what that is. They putting out exactly what they want to put out.
Correct.
To produce the results that they are getting.
Correct. While they're giving you drugs and shit.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Giving you drugs and killing. That's the of the day. That's what drill is, really. There's some other aspects.
It goes beyond drill. It goes beyond drill. Drill's just a hyped up.
It goes all the way back to NWA from PE. Yeah. The transition from PE to NWA.
But I'm saying that all forms of music has it.
Yes. But
except rap, maybe classic and jazz.
It don't have it too.
Well, if you just, they don't have lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Like your classical music and your jazz. I'm just saying that the songs, but then the songs could have a certain vibration, the music itself.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
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 Classical and jazz. I mean, just instrumental jazz, because there's a lot of singing on jazz too.
Yeah. Yeah, but so it seems to me like nobody's perfect, but you'd have a chink in your armor somewhere, or maybe that chink in the armor is what gets them to where they are. Maybe it's something about that. Cobain dropped out of school his senior year, like 2 weeks before graduation. He said once he realized he didn't have enough credits to graduate, he just dropped out.
Right.
And his mom told him, you got to get a job. His mom and dad had broke up a few years before. And his mom married a new dude who was beating the crap out of her. And she told him, which was probably the dude, speaking on his behalf of the stepdad, but she told him, you got to get a job. If you ain't in school, or get out of my house. That Mark said 1 week later, his shit was packed up.
Yeah.
Okay, that Mark, 1 week. So he started living under bridges and couch surfing, but his grandmother had already cultivated that music in him, That's what I'm saying. If he was able to,
and a lot of people, for them to get to the highest point, there's got to be some suffering. It's got to be some depravity of, there's got to be some, all I got is this.
But Michael Jackson had the 2-parent household. Now, then they always split you up from that. Like Serena and Venus, their parents had divorced. Beyonce's parents had divorced, and they split them up, got her away from her dad. They got Kanye away from his mother, but that was through death.
Well, I mean, Beyonce's parents, when they all the way through Destiny Child, when they broke up when she went solo.
Yeah, when she truly blew. I mean, she was big. Don't get me wrong, but
they were still together for a long time.
Yeah,
and Williams, that was a long time. They were.
Yeah, the dad had just passed. I think. Is that what happened? I don't think they were able. They stopped working with their dad.
Yeah, that's what happened. They stopped working with their dad. I think I looked the other day and I was like, because I thought I'm like, is this a butterfly effect or something? Because Mandela effect? Because I'm like, is this dude still alive?
He had to have passed away. You talking about Earl Wood? No, I'm thinking of Tiger's dad. Maybe I'm confusing him with Tiger's dad, because I know Tiger's dad passed.
Richard Williams, right?
Yeah. They did the movie on him.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, okay. I went to Wikipedia and I was like, it says born. Don't say anything about death. Trip me out. I'm like, this dude is still alive? What? I thought he died some years ago. And
he's still alive, huh?
Yeah, I mean, according to Wikipedia, I mean,
yeah, all right.
It's just a short look at it.
I thought he was gone too. The overseer said, what if you just die at 27? Do you have to be in the club? No, I don't think you have to be in the club. But if you own, say, Google, founded and owned Google and died at the age of 27, that'll get you in the club. Oh, yeah, that'll get you in the club. Wakil said 4, he's giving us the key to the riddle, or he's presenting the key. 4 is a party, and 5, me leaving the party or group. I can tell you that's creative, but that's not what I'm looking for out there. That's not what I'm looking for out there. And I'll tell y'all what, too. When I give you guys the key, it's going to be so obvious to you. You know what I mean? It's going to be so obvious to you. All right. But good try, but that's not what we're looking for out there. All right, so let's push past this out there. I think we went through that. Who knows how to get signed up? You got to go out to the crossroads out there, and you know what I mean. And
for some of them, they don't even know that they've signed their name to hell. Some of them didn't know. Like Robert Johnson said, he met the devil at the crossroads. Some of them came in the form of their agent and the record label and all of that, and they got them.
Yeah, but you still got to make a choice at some point. The Satan, from my understanding, cannot take your immortal soul without you knowing, in fact, just what you're doing at some point. Yes, they might be able to string you along and wine and
Some of
dine.
them, I'm not sure that their soul was taken. They were just killed and sacrificed, but not all of them. But
I got what you're saying. Okay, it makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. See, they've just been working as agents of the Illuminati or the Satan, but they didn't take the oath, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair. Some of them once that's fair. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think all of them talent came from they deal with the devil.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Right.
I agree with that. 100%. All right. So we don't know the process for membership. None of us is in it, and and you don't know who's in it until after they pass away. But why would anyone subscribe to such a deal? Free drugs, girls, Cadillac, money.
Some people just wanted to be famous, the ones that signed the deal. Others, like, they had very tough lives, and it breeded the talent and also breeded the what to relieve what they experienced in their life. So drugs and alcohol on a very high level, that tends to be a lot of people's means of dealing with early childhood trauma.
Hey man, this is crazy. Duck and Vine died at 26.
Damn, he did.
Let's see, hold on.
Because it's people died at 26 too.
Biggie was 24.
And Pac was 25. And Mac Miller died at 26 too. I think it was Mac Miller.
Mac Dre, was it? Let me try Mac Miller. I think Mac Dre died at, or Pimp C. Let's see.
No, Pimp C was way older.
Older, okay.
He was 3-6 Mafia, so
yeah, he was 33. You said Mac Dre?
Mac Miller.
Oh yeah, that was a Caucasian cat, wasn't he?
Yeah. 26.
26. Wow. Close. That's damn close. It's got to count for something.
Man, he had some lyrics saying, "If you sell me drugs, please don't mix it with bullshit." That bullshit, because he didn't want to be part of the 27 Club or something. And he didn't fucking make it.
Yeah, because he started talking like that before he was 27.
And the motherfuckers mixed it, because that's what he died from. It was and the motherfucker that sold him the drugs.
Yeah.
Some time.
Yeah. So they say.
Yeah. So they say. And because he's, the guy.
Yeah, but what was you saying? What would be the point of joining that? I mean, okay, if they were improving my skills, they're going to make you the next Jerry Rice.
No, you're going to be the best there is. I'm going to be the best ever. Like, you're going to give me this, and everybody going to know who I am and all this.
You're going to be Michael Jordan.
Right. Just not Michael Jordan, because it's only going to be till you're 27.
Right.
You don't know that. That part. People sell their soul on what they're focused on, what they focus, and once that's completed, then it could be called home. So
I got you. I mean, I don't want to go too biblical, but only supposedly Yahweh knows the time that each person leaves, not even say time. So you would know that you're going to get what you get, because a lot of them go on beyond 27. Might have happen at 30.
They are. Yeah. No, some still alive.
Yeah.
Say he had signed a contract. What's his name?
Paul McCartney.
folk singer. No,
he's folks. What is it, BD or
a
GD?
folk singer. It's the motherfucking, you know what I'm talking about. Damn. One that say he signed a deal with the I missed the TATN. Missed it and everything.
Well, you said folk singer. Is it BD or GD? But
he's
no,
an old white guy. Man,
it was just on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, they interviewed him. He talked about he signed a deal.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you know, they like you said earlier.
It's what he was focused on, though. He wanted to still be doing it now. He didn't want to just fizzle out. It's the deal.
Yeah, he said he went for longevity. Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, these guys be like, I just want to be on top of the world and blah, blah, blah. And then when that happens,
they burn out like a match.
Yeah, because they, you know.
All the energy and the power. Yeah.
So they set up for it because they on top of everything.
Yeah.
And they're artists that we're going to see that now that's really hot going. Yeah. They're not going to be around.
That's interesting, bro. That is interesting.
Those people made the deal. The one that's make the super dark music and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
They made the deal.
Lil Nas X.
Yeah, and Lil Uzi Vert.
Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne.
Now he's been around forever. He's had the longevity.
Oh, he made the deal though.
Yeah, he had a longevity deal. That's my thing. Yeah. The short
Black Sabbath. Black
Yeah,
Sabbath was another one. I mean, listen
Kiss.
to the name of their album.
Kiss.
Yeah. But what about Garcia's? What's the name of them? We just the Grateful Dead. There's a name for you. The Grateful Dead.
A lot of their music, you know, the main people of them are dead.
Yeah. Easy was older too. He was older than 27.
Yes.
Yeah, because they would have had him on this list. Rolling Stone would have had him on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he got killed just the same, in my opinion.
So assuming one is a member, how would one exit the 27 Club? I mean, you know, if you join a local street gang, you can just show up there one day and tell everybody,
hey, everybody in the 27 Club exit.
Hey guys, I want to be out.
They all exited. How did you exit? That's how you exit.
So ain't no getting out.
No.
Ain't no getting out.
No, not for the ones that signed into that. Actually, for the other ones either, they're sacrificed.
The agents, yeah, exactly.
So
yeah,
the ones that signed into it and the people that they have up for, because you know, a lot of the fatted calf didn't know that they was getting sacrificed that day.
Facts. And so, I bet you a lot of these, especially the ones that come out of England, you know, these rock stars. But if you check their bloodlines, they're descendants of Rothschilds and Vanderbilts and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
The ones who hadn't got offed. Right.
Yeah, the
you know,
ones
John Lennon, he got offed. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Paul McCartney didn't get offed.
No.
Yeah. They said Bono, man. And that's another thing. They be doing a lot of charitables and donating here and there and helping the starving kids in Africa, allegedly. You know what I mean? And that's what they say, so if they're feeding the starving kids in Africa and nothing,
his story, and not even the real what happened. His story is that they don't do that. So, yeah, you know.
I mean, so they've been running these commercials. We're over here. Send me money. They should be able to show us cities built and shit by now, shouldn't they? Those commercials should look a little better. They should look a little better. Look at all these wells. We've been doing this since 1980. You know what I'm trying to say? They don't show you none of that. They just keep running the dirt hatch. How come they ain't got no water?
Hey,
we've been sending money.
I didn't personally sit there enough to dig a well. They don't have a well yet. What the?
Dem Tempe Mutombo gave up 80% of NBA salary.
And they ain't got a well.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I expect to see Manhattan by now. No, self. I'm just saying.
The whole thing is they done went somewhere and had some crap anyway. It was Manhattan around the corner from where they shot the video. They got some poor kids and brought them out there and put some milk on their face and let the flies get all on them.
Man. Oh, they be killing me with the flies. Yeah, they give them something that attracts the flies.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's marketing.
Oh man. Oh man. I can't wait till we go to Africa, man. Because if I find out this has all been a sham, let me tell you something. Oh man. God bless the hungry though.
Yeah.
You know, we're not making
all
fun.
the time.
Yeah. All right. So you're saying the only way out pretty much is a sacrifice. Maybe you, maybe a loved one. Right. But somebody's got to go.
Not even a loved one. The people that's in the 27 club, all of them made their transition.
That's very true. And many of themselves, shortly after, a couple of them, like their loved ones died at 27.
I know
Kurt Cobain's girl died at 27. Courtney Love.
Courtney Love's still alive. It was
something
the first guy.
Robert John.
No, the first
Morrison?
of the four. The first of the four modern people. The Rolling Stones dude.
Oh, okay.
No, it was Jim Morrison's girl. You're right.
Yeah, and it was somebody else's there. They said that happens too, kind of frequently.
It might,
the girl
all,
be younger, but
all
then
of the
when she
people
dies,
make huge, right? All the people that make it huge, all of them have had people close to them die.
And I bet some of them signed over all their rights to their dip. And then what? Oh, we got to take them out too. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but I mean, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, $billion-dollar, catalogs.
Yeah, they didn't have, especially these older artists. Them four major ones, they were worth more dead than alive.
Correct. Most artists are.
But definitely these people, because they were set to explode and they were going to change things.
And I think Prince's clock started running when he fought Sony. That's when he was on the clock.
Yeah, he was an interesting case. Yeah, because I'm not even sure he was taking them drugs they said he was. I think
correct.
He was giving them.
Yeah, because his family said he wasn't living that rock star lifestyle as far as drugs. They said Prince didn't do that. You never saw him drinking or nothing.
He was a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah. Of course, he made that song Anti-Christian, Antichrist, until you're crucified. Yeah, I guess he's talking about crucifying the Antichrist. I'll live my life in a taxi cab.
Yeah, I think he was speaking on people judging people.
Okay. Yeah, that was a tripped out song. So the only scientific study, you saw the pink man on the promo video giving his numbers. The scientist, he's coming out with his FBI report and this and that. They claim there's no correlation between dying at 27 for these major people versus the regular population. Patagonia out there.
I mean, the regular population had plenty of people who died at 27. Are they part of the club? It could be. I mean, I'm not saying they not, but very
Some of them
well.
could be. Some of them very well
Yes,
could be.
that's what I
They
mean.
just didn't get as big. They sold their soul for a couple of hot dogs and a bag of reefer.
Or they were sacrificed at that age. You know what I
Correct.
mean?
Correct.
Yeah.
Does that get you in the club? Well, that brings you into kind of what Omni was asking. What if you just die at 27? Do you have to be in the club?
You're gonna be assumed that you're in the club if you die at 27.
Yeah, but their math is saying that
you don't have to sign over. That's what I'm saying. Some people who are going to really make a difference in the world at 27 are doing some things and shining, and the world ain't recognizing, but they can be snuffed out too, and they don't have to sign no deal.
But the scientific data is saying that there's no higher percentage of regular people dying at the age of 27 than artists.
Right.
It was a little higher for artists, but it was, infinitesimal.
Right. His story is going to say that, especially if they're making something happen. But at any rate, people die at every age, every day. So, it can be very, very small. But higher influenced people, it makes a difference.
Funny you said that. 56 is the number that they said actually most artists pass away at a way higher frequency than the normal pattern of regular quote unquote humans passing.
Yeah.
They said that 56. They said really there should be the 56 Club, and I'm gonna have to do some research.
It probably is.
Yeah. Look at these rappers, man, and these old school hip hoppers. They all around that age. I'd have to do some numbers. Down from this, that, the other, kidney failure, this and the fourth. You know what I mean?
A lot of them ain't making that far.
Correct. Yeah. You got to think about it too, Self. They don't have nutritionists on the road with them. Man, they be on the road stopping at not just the drugs and alcohol if they're doing that. They're just eating whatever type of nonsense. Prince wasn't like that, You know what I mean? Just eating nonsense in every city. I'm going to go to Harold's when I get to Chicago. I'm going to go here and there and this and that and try this and that. Man, you do that for 20, 30 years straight, your body is going to be in some trouble.
Yeah. Facts. Fried every night.
Man.
It's not going to work out good for you.
Not ramming any salads. Wakil said okay and means plus okay. I'm the overseer. Got it. 4 and 5 is 9. And so am I. I'm 9. Yes. Good job. I'm the overseer. Yep. You're right, bro. Look at I'm the overseer. Look at that. I was going to give y'all a hint. You know what I'm saying? I'm 9 meals out there. But I was going to save it for the end. Thought I was going to be able to give everybody the answer out there. And the chat comes through. Between self-love and the chat, I never get to give the key out. Man, sucks. All right. Used to be I could give the key out. Rarely. Only when self-love didn't come up with it. But now the chat's doing great. So along those lines, man, numbers can lie. They can be manipulated. If the same powers that be, to your point, are in charge of putting out this data set, then they could put out whatever data set they want it to be.
Facts. And if they want to pick and choose which are sacrifices or which are people who are signed up for it, they can hide it in the numbers.
It's an interesting number, man. 2 + 7 is 9. That's completion. That's interesting. That's kind of why I want to, get at this. All right, chat.
7 by itself is very powerful.
Absolutely. Some say that's completion. But Self, anything on this topic, man, you want to talk about as we wrap it up, bro?
Spirit says that there are no coincidences and there are no mistakes. And people have signed up before they come here and they meet their fate. 27 is just a number for a lot of so-called celebrity have come unalived or deceased. Some just for their talent and some because they signed a deal with the beast.
Yeah, I know I'm forgetting a couple African Americans I had heard about on the black internet that died at 27 too. I think this YouTuber who just died, remember Sin the Pimp, something like that. Yeah, he passed, man. Sinful to P. He's from Shy, man, but he was exiled in Canada for some years because he pled guilty to what do you call it, child molestation. He was a pimp out there, and he had a relationship with one of his girls, his workers back in the day, and she was 16, 17, something like that. He had relations, admitted to it in court. I think he got sentenced to like 5 years or something like that. And then he exiled himself to Canada and was doing his YouTube from there. Sinful to peace. So if I told you I used to be in this chat, he became a preacher, but he was a smooth talking preacher type pimp. You know what I mean? So I'm listening to him I followed him for like 2 weeks. And then he put me in timeout in the chat out there. He put me in timeout. Oh, I unsubscribed, never saw him again, and now rest his soul. You know what I mean? But there's some people saying, I don't know if the internet's confirmed. Yeah, look, it's Sinful the P. He reminds me of somebody too. He's from out south, man. Like if you see himself, you're gonna be like, I've seen this dude. I know this dude. But I think they said he was 27. And one report said he got shot, another one said he died of AIDS. So yeah. This dude, like YouTuber Sinful to P, dies. Yeah, that dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if it's true, rest up. But they said he was 27. That's why I brought him up. All right. All right. So you guys clearly answered the riddle. If two's company and three's a crowd, what is 4 and 5? Well, 4 and 5 is 9. Good job, I'm the overseer. Good job. All right. Yourself, you're slipping out there. Either
Well,
you're slipping or the chat's getting smarter.
No, I just didn't figure it out. That's all. It happens sometime. I'm not perfect out there.
All right. It does happen sometime. It does happen. And maybe if you had more time, you'd have solved it as well, because we did give it out late. And I think I'm the overseer Googled it or something before I even gave the question. Because he's the one texting me, like, we didn't do the riddle. I'm like, oh, shit. During halftime. Appreciate that, dude.
Yes,
we're gonna see you in Chicago, bro. Give me a thumbs up if we're gonna see you in Chicago in February out there. All right. All right. So we did the riddle. Let's see here. Well, next week, I don't have a guest lined up, so
I might be able to get one. I mean,
let me do something. Next week, bro. What's the series? that we're doing with the like Black Wall Street?
Black success.
I think it's
Black
White
achievement.
Terror.
White Terror.
White Terror or something. Let me see.
Oh yeah, White Terror. Yep. If not, we might be able to get help. Let me see if I can hit my guy. I was hitting him before and I had the wrong number.
Oh, okay. You got the right number.
Yeah.
You say we might be able to get who?
Gamal, Alkaline.
Oh, you said Black Health. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be. I'd love to come back with some Black Health. Yeah, that'd be dope.
I'm gonna try to get him on that. I'm gonna talk to him about it.
Okay.
At the very least.
All right. So you guys next week, we'll either be coming back with our Black Health series. We'll have a guest in tow. If not, we're going to come back with our Pink Massacre series. And that's the history in this country where we've pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps, recycled our money, was all on code, did everything on the More Growth and Development Program, prospered.
Actually, we were the landowners. We were the people who owned the businesses.
Right.
We were paper genocided and had our property taken by force and evil.
Yes, backed by the government and their National Guardsmen and all of this and that. Because sometimes we giving it to them. You know, we holding our own at minimum with less numbers, less effective weapons, holding our own. Because, you know, in my opinion, Yahweh defends the righteous. You understand? And but then they come around with the Gatling guns, and the National Guard moves in to shut down the Negro riot. And our whole community is being blown up. People are being dragged out of their houses and shot. But they come to, you know, stop the Negro riots. So we'll come back with that. We've been moving through a timeline. Anything else on that, Self?
Love, honor, respect. And we'll have a great show next week. That's all I know for sure. Like you said, it's either going to be on a White Massacre or our melanated health.
Facts. And tomorrow on Mouthpiece Included, right here on TATN. That'll be 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, live. It's an open panel out there. We're covering the Bears. Got the first overall pick. How shall we use it? That's our hottest topic. We're going to break down that colored GM, some sort of melanated Ryan Poles. We're going to talk about what we would tend to do in restructuring this team. Our Bears are on the clock. So anyone's welcome to pull up. The only thing we ask, if you do pull up, that you what, Self?
Don't you forget to bring your mouthpiece that you can get all wet.
That's right. Don't forget to bring your mouthpiece, or you shall, in fact, you can and you will get all wet. All right, enough of my yapping. I'm going to turn it over to this brother for my personal favorite part of the whole shebang, and that's going to be Wordsmith's final words out there.
The 27 Club, is it right and exact? A lot of people on the list made an impact.
Facts.
On society. Some of them signed a deal with the devil, and some got sacrificed for their skill. Someone felt they were greater than them and wanted their power and decided to steal the energy that could benefit you and me. Hold it all for themselves. Transferred it into some sort of wealth. It's the decision between the dark and the light. Some celebrities go hard with all of their might and praise Satan and the devil. In every form of music. Where there's a will, there's a rebel. And I'm here to tell you that's just another religion. And praising the other side is a given. Because there's a lot of dogma in every religion. When you take a look and look with precision,
intuition,
spirituality is a reality. Get what you must from wherever you get it. It's like an atom when you split it. It's an explosion of information flowing. Just hold it down. Don't be part of the club.
2-7.
Because that ain't even enough rotations to absorb and rub to enjoy this life. RIP to y'all. Some of y'all were very nice to what you brought to the earth. 27 is too young to be put in the dirt.
Facts.
Words.
Words. All right, all right, all right. Well said, good brother. Well said. All right. We're going to start this one out with Sweet Home Chicago by Robert Johnson. Rest up. St. Pedro. Or like, no, be like Yahusha. Walk on water.
Yeah, man, move mountains.
Mountain?
Yeah. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, move mountains, man. You know, all we need is the faith of a mustard seed. That whole situation will displace itself.
I will eat the right foods that I grow myself. Cause the wrong way stole my health.